Hi guys, welcome to Lunch Guide. I'm your host and chef, Sheena Amario. Now today we're going to be making a lentil salad, so something fun, light, so kind of like a summer salad, you can call it that if you want to. Though if you're from Kenya, you probably know that we don't usually have like such months. We kind of have the sun all throughout, so we are fortunate in that way. So thank you so much for tuning in. So to get started with the ingredients, today we're going to be using some cashew nuts, some olives. Those are going to go into the salad just to give a bit of a crunch with the cashew nuts and a bit of a different texture with the olives, as well as some lemon, some apple, some cucumber, tomatoes, capsicums. I like using all colors, so I'm using all the three colors, and then some lettuce as well, and of course the lentils. The lentils I'm using today is dengu, which is known as green grams in English, as well as for the sauce I'm going to make a dressing, and we're going to use some tomato paste, some black pepper, some salt, some Tabasco or chili sauce or hot sauce, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to have as well some mayonnaise and some yogurt. And for the herbs, I have some parsley as well as some dhania, which is coriander in English, or cilantro, depending which part of the continent you're from. So that's what we're going to be making. We're going to go on a tiny little break, and when you guys come back, we'll get started with the chopping, because there'll be so much chopping. But I love chopping. So see you guys after the break. Hi guys, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host and chef, Sheena Amario. Now today we're making a lentil salad, and to get started, I'm going to get my cashew nuts. I mentioned I'm going to use some cashew nuts just to give it a bit of texture and crunch, so I just want to heat this up. So I'm just going to go ahead and heat my stove. And the reason I'm using cashew nuts, you could use whichever nuts you have available, like peanuts, macadamia nuts if you wanted, walnuts if you wanted as well. But I'm just using cashew nuts because they're readily available for me. But use whatever nuts you like, or if you don't like nuts and are allergic to them, don't use them. Okay, so my pan is hot, and all I'm going to do is just toast some of my peanuts. This is just going to give a nice crunch to your salad. Now, if you're already buying the store-bought peanuts, which already come roasted for you and salted, then you don't have to do this step. Just use them directly as they are from the packet. I'm using raw nuts, so that's why I'm doing this step, which is toasting them so they can get a nice little crunch on them and a nice golden brown color, and the aromas will come right off them. So I'm just going to give that a little shake. Okay, and then I'm going to go right ahead and then start chopping some of my vegetables. Like I've mentioned, we're going to be chopping quite a bit today. So I'm using assorted capsicums here. I've got red, green, yellow. So that's what I'm using. You could also get the other capsicums. You know, there's one that's mainly orange. You could get that one as well if it's available for you. So you could chop your salad in whichever form you like. But because the lentils here are small, I kind of want to keep it in that diaphragm where it's all small, little, like kind of like bite-sized, chunky sort of size. So I'm not going to do anything stripped. Just tossing that to make sure that they don't burn. So I'm just going to keep on chopping. Then I'm going to get my other capsicum. Now for salads, I always feel it's important when you're making a salad to kind of like eat with color, because if you're trying to eat a salad and you're not a huge fan, you're not really going to eat it if it doesn't look appetizing to you. So it's always important, I feel, to at least have something popping. You want all the colors to be popping. So that has started. Okay, there we are. I'm going to put this off because I don't want this to burn. And I'm just going to keep tossing this gently because the pan is hot. So the longer you leave this in here, the more it's going to stick to the pan, and then it has a high chance of burning. So I'm just tossing this to ensure that everything is tossing in gently. You can see the golden color you're getting here. There's some nice golden brown color right there. And that's exactly what you want in your nuts. Any darker than that, then it's going to have a kind of like a burnt taste, and you want to avoid that. So we're just going to place this aside now that they're done. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a place to place them and just pour them out. And there we are. So our cashew nuts are bright. They're nice and golden brown. Like I've mentioned, if it's any darker than that, this is exactly what you want to see. The nice little charred marks on them, that's a nice golden brown color. So any darker than that, and it's going to have kind of like a bitter taste. So what this does is just releases the aromas of the nuts, and in here already I can smell the aromas. It's a bit nutty, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Okay, so to go back to my chopping, like I mentioned, I do love using different colors of the capsicums because it just gives your salad a bit more of character and flavor. And the chopping style, you could definitely make this all up to you. It's kind of like a preference thing on how you want to do your chopping. But I've just said, because the lentils here are small, my advice to you would be to either cut this slightly smaller than I am cutting mine, so that everything is kind of like easy to grab in one spoonful. So that's looking good. My mixed salads, my mixed capsicums, to go into my mixed salad. So I'm going to grab my big bowl here, just because it's going to be easy to handle when I put everything else to mix in. I'm just going to throw those in there. Get rid of any waste. Now, this is a good salad that you could add whatever vegetables you have in the house, tomatoes if you want to, cucumbers, anything works here. Just slice off the eye. That's what you call this little center part of the tomato. Then get rid of it. Again, I'm going to just keep this a bit on the larger side, so just large chunks, a bit large, not too tiny, because I don't want them to disappear in my lentils. And I don't want them too big in the sense that you're not able to grab them when you do get your salad. Now, if you're not a huge fan of tomatoes or fresh tomatoes, you could actually use dried tomatoes. Those are easily available for you in the supermarket. And they give your food this nice, kind of like, it's like not really crunchy, but kind of like crispy-ish texture. To me, I kind of find like, what do you call them? The sun-dried tomatoes kind of taste like bacon. That's just me, because they've got this saltiness in them that I really just love. So if you haven't tried sun-dried tomatoes, that's definitely something you could try for this type of salad or any salad you're making at home if you don't want to use fresh tomatoes. So I'm just putting in all the juices in there because I'm going to need them later. And there's no point of wasting them in here because the salad, I'm going to mix in some lemon juice in there. I'm going to grab my cucumber and then just cut this into half. And all my vegetables here are washed, so always ensure that whatever vegetables you're using are cleaned and washed right before you use them. So I'm just going to grab my bowl here for the waste. And what I always like to do with my cucumber, regardless, is just cut it in steps. So whereby I leave a white strip and then turn it, leave another white strip. It just gives more character to your cucumber. You don't have to do this. You could definitely just remove all the skin if you don't want to use the skin. But I just like to do it this way because it gives it a nice character. So you see when it's like that, then all you have to do is just go down. And you have everything. And all you get is, kind of looks like a zebra. Or the watermelon. Yes, that type of watermelon. The zebra watermelon. I think that's what you call it. I could just be making that up. Okay, so I'm going to leave the juice in here as well for my cucumber. Then I'm just going to go ahead and slice this. Again, kind of like in the same format, the cubes. So that's what I'm doing here. Now, if you don't want to use the flesh, you could definitely omit it. I'm just going to retain it. There's usually sometimes when I don't feel like having the flesh, so usually I'll omit it. And what you'll do with that, if you don't want to discard it, you could actually make like some healthy sort of juice with it. Or you could blend it in a smoothie if you decide to remove like the pulp of the cucumber. So there are a lot of uses you could do with it. And then what I'm going to add that's a little different is actually an apple, because I'm giving my salad just a little bit more character, so it's not all purely vegetables, and the apple is going to give it some nice sweetness. Now for this, I would suggest you use an apple that's nice and firm. And the apple here I'm using is the Pink Lady apple. And if you look at it, it's easy to tell because most times it has this kind of like lime green color that goes to like a pink color. So you can have a look at it and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I really like it because it's normally like very light and fresh, and it's not very tangy compared to like the green apple. So that's why personally I prefer it, and it's a bit sweeter. And then again, it's not as soft as the red apple, but if you're into that texture, then you can go with the red apple. But I just find like this is a good in-between of the two, so I really like it. So that's what I'm going to be using. And again, I'm going to use the same, just going to cut it into chunks. So what I'm doing is just cutting on the side and then the other side to avoid the center, because I don't want to have to deal with the seeds that are in there. So if you cut it this way, you avoid a lot of work. And there I go. So all I have to do is just throw away the core, and then now I can chop my apple. Now if you're not a huge fan of apples, then you don't have to use them. I'm just adding this in here just for a little bit of a crunch and texture. Because I've said I like to have my salads with a little bit of character in them, because most times if you don't have them with character, I feel like they're going to be bland and boring. So there's so much you can do with your salad. So that's just something I like to add on. So I'm just going to finish off chopping my apple here. Like I mentioned, I'm using a Pink Lady apple. You could use the green one, or you could use the red one as well. So it's kind of like up to you. And look how pretty that looks. I'm going to go ahead and taste one because I love my apples. The sweetness. So I'm going to get my lemon here. And then for this, I'm going to roll it. And the reason you roll your lemon is just to give it, to make sure that it gets soft enough to be able to get more juice out of it. That's like the only main reason. So I'm just rolling it some more. And then I'm going to actually drizzle a bit of the lemon juice onto my apples. And that's actually a very good tip if you've made apples or you want to make your apples overnight and you're afraid that they're going to discolor, because they will. A good tip for you is actually to add some lemon juice. You could also add some vinegar, but I usually prefer lemon because again, it's fresh. As you know, vinegar is manufactured, so lemon here is fresh and light, and it will give your apples that taste. The freshness will come right through the apples. So once you're done, just cut it into half. Like I've said, the reason I roll is just to make sure that your lemon is nice and soft to get more juices, so that it's easy to squeeze. As you can see, you get a lot of juice from doing that. And then we're just going to drizzle some. And the reason I'm using my hand here is just to ensure that no pits, which is the seeds, fall into my apples. Of course, it's going to be easy to pick, but it's just a good tip. If you don't have a sieve, you could just use your hands as a sieve. Just always make sure your hands are clean before doing this. Okay, so that's looking good. Place your seeds aside. Then I'm going to just give this a mix. So just mix your apples now in the lemon juice, and they get this nice, fresh, zesty taste because of the lemon juice, and it's going to actually preserve them. They're not going to turn color, and that's exactly what you want. If you're making apples overnight, if you just want to pre-chop a lot of apples and you're afraid they're going to turn color, something else you could add the lemon juice to is actually something like pears as well, because those discolor very quickly. Bananas as well, that's something you could add to. So a lot of fruits, you can actually chop them in advance and then just add a bit of lemon juice and they'll retain the color. See how pretty and fresh the apples are looking? Oh, so yum. I already want to bite into them. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and now move on with whichever else vegetables we haven't chopped up. Now you could use onions in this, but I'm not using onions today. I like to give my salads a bit of a different texture and vibe, whereby I'm not always making the same thing all the time. So that's something you can always consider, because most people always add onions to them. So I'm just giving it something different without adding the onions. So what I'm getting here is actually now the olives. I'm adding some olives, and I just chopped my olives So this is kind of like a preference. You could chop your olives however you like. So these are just sliced. Again, just for the color. You see we've got different colors going on there. We've got the red, now I've put in some black. So there's going to be a lot of colors going on. So I'm going to set this aside so I can mix now my my dressing for the salad. So I just want to get rid of this, the waste, so that we can go right ahead and start the mixing. Just going to give this a rinse. Now this is a good alternative, especially if you've grown up eating your lentils in such a way that's the traditional, we just cook them. And sometimes you'll have your dengu with, let's say, ugali or rice. Personally, that's how I grew up eating them. We used to have our dengu with ugali, which I know is quite heavy, but yep, that's how I grew up eating them. So I just knew growing up I wanted to, once I learned about cooking, I realized there's so much I could do with my lentils, which is why now I'm making a salad that's just a little different. So we're going to go ahead and add now the lentils, which is the star of the dish. Like I said, I'm making a lentil salad here into my other vegetables. And this is just boiled green grams. Green grams in Kenya, or in Kenya we mostly refer to them as dengu. That's what most of us locally know them as. But in English they're called green grams. So that's all I've done. All you could do is just boil them, and then once they're boiled, the texture, again, just ensure that it's not too much, that it can retain some of the texture when you mix it in, because you don't want it mushy. Because if it's mushy, then it's not going to be very nice for a salad, because it's going to get mush. So you want to make sure it has a bit of a bite to it, but it's not too firm again, or not too soft. So just there in between, because you can see with mine there's some soft grains and some hard grains, so just try and get it in between. So that we're going to mix this, and the colors are going to come right off. And that's the beauty of always, when you make your salads, add different things to them. Now, like I said, you could cut this, definitely smaller your vegetables, but I just wanted to cut them larger so that they don't get all lost in the lentils mix. So that way you're able to see everything going on. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. So that's pretty much it for the main vegetables for the lentils. So I've just put all the vegetables I could find and mix them all in. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some mayonnaise to make a dressing. And the dressing I'm making is a Thousand Island dressing. Now what a Thousand Island dressing is just a combination most times of mayonnaise as the base, as well as something like ketchup or now Tabasco or chili sauce or a hot sauce. Then you could add other sauces into it. So that's kind of like the main concept, whereby you have like the mayonnaise as the base, and then you add something like tomato paste or ketchup or something red in that zone. I'm going to go ahead and add my mayonnaise. Now, a good alternative for this is actually, if you do want to use mayonnaise, which is why I put my yogurt here, is use yogurt. So you could use yogurt as a substitute to your mayonnaise. But because I'm not allergic to either, I'm going to use my mayonnaise. And the good thing with using yogurt, it's going to give your food, again, a nice lightness to it. So it's going to be light on the fats as well and the calories, because yogurt is a bit more natural compared to the processed mayonnaise. So that's just a note for you. If you're trying to have it on the lighter side, healthier side, then definitely use the yogurt. And you'll just mix in exactly what I'm going to mix the same way. Just ensure the yogurt you use here is natural yogurt and not flavored yogurt, because you want it to be natural, so that it can take on all the flavors of everything else you're going to add. So I'm going to go ahead and add a bit of tomato paste. Now, if you didn't have tomato paste, you could definitely use ketchup. Ketchup is going to be seasoned for you, so be careful when you add everything else. Now, I'm just using the tomato paste because that's what I had available. Of course, some black pepper. Like I mentioned, you know me and black pepper. I really love to add black pepper to everything I cook or make, since I'm not really cooking this. Okay, add some salt as well. And then, this is a bit hot. So what this is it's a hot sauce. So I mentioned you could make Tabasco. Different countries call these different names. So in Kenya, we mostly call our sauces that are hot chili sauces. Abroad, different countries will call them a hot sauce. So it's kind of like a hot sauce or chili sauce. So work with whatever you like. And the heat, it's up to you. You can get one that's a bit mild or strong. It's kind of all up to you. So I'm going to add about 3 teaspoons. Then I'm going to give that a taste once I'm done mixing. And now it's time to do the mixing. So I'm just going to grab a fork. Actually, I can actually manage with this. Let's start off with this and see. And everything is going to come well together. I also usually like to add some lemon juice to this. You could add some lemon zest as well. You know, I love grating some lemon zest into things, but for this, I'm going to keep the lemon zest away. I'm refraining. And already you can see the color changes. That's from the tomato paste and also from the chili sauce, hot sauce. That's where you're getting this nice red color from. And this should have a bit of a kick to it because I've used some hot sauce. Now, if it doesn't have some, I'm going to add some more. Ooh, I can actually taste it. I'm going to add just a little bit more because it's not as strong. I don't mind my food spicy. But if you're someone who definitely minds the heat, then you want to put a bit less of this stuff because it's going to be very potent. Okay, so we're going to mix this in. And then once everything is mixed in well together, we're going to go ahead and add some lemon juice. Again, like I said, use your hand or use a sieve if you have one, just to make sure that no seeds go in here because it's going to be so hard getting the seeds out if you drop any seeds in. And then we're just going to mix it. Now what the lemon does here is just cut through the fat of the mayonnaise and gives it a nice freshness to it. So a nice kind of like tangy taste. Now what you could use if we didn't have lemon is use some vinegar. Vinegar would actually work the same way. And it's going to make this less heavy. As you can see, it was very thick before, now it's gotten light. So that's what vinegar does, as well as lemon. So you could use whichever citric you have. You could also use oranges if you wanted. You could use like an orange juice. Now that will actually cut through again the fat and make this light on the mayonnaise. And it will also give your Thousand Island dressing a nice citrusy orange sweet taste because of the orange, of course. So it's going to be a bit on the sweeter side. So give this a bit of a taste. I like to taste everything. It's kind of like my thing. Kind of like a thing you're advised as a chef whenever you're cooking to taste everything. Because if you don't taste as you go, then you're not sure what flavors are missing. Oh, yum. The lemon, like I said, the freshness it gives to the salad dressing, it's amazing. So I'm making a Thousand Island dressing in case you forgot what it was called. So I'm going to add a bit of olive oil, just a little bit, to help mix this in right there, to give it a nice glossy shine and finish. So that's what the olive oil does, just gives it a nice finish, a nice glossiness. You can already see the sheen. It has a sheen to it already. So that's it. So that's our salad for today, guys. It's been very easy to mix. It's just a lot of mixing and a lot of chopping. So we're going to go on a short little break since most of our vegetables have been chopped already and our salad is done. You could also actually, I've just realized, you could use raisins if you wanted to add a bit of an extra sweetness to this, but you don't have to. So we're going to place our salad here so you can have a look. Then we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to go right ahead and get into plating. So see you after the break. Welcome back to Lunch Guide. I'm your host and chef, Sheena Amario. Now, if you're just tuning in, today we're making a lentil salad. And the salad we made today had green grams, which is dengu in Kenya, is what we most times locally call it. And then I added some apples here as well for the little crunch and bite. Then it's got some cucumber, some colored capsicum, some tomatoes as well. So it's got some life going on into it. And then we also roasted some nuts, just because I like some nuts and a little bite in my salad. I mentioned you could use whatever nuts you want to. I used cashew nuts, but you could use peanuts if you wanted, walnuts if you wanted, whatever nuts are available for you, easily available. Now, we also made a salad dressing. I'm just putting this aside for now. We also made a salad dressing. For the salad dressing, it's known as a Thousand Island dressing, which is actually a mayonnaise-based salad dressing, whereby you add now some tomato paste or some ketchup if you wanted to, as well as some chili sauce or something hot and spicy, which gives it this nice little hue kind of color. So it's not all the way red, but it's not all the way white either. So it's kind of like in between. It's a pale color. And that's the whole idea of Thousand Island dressing. It's a mix of that. It's a mayonnaise-based dressing where you then add your Tabasco, your tomato paste or ketchup, and some salt, some black pepper, some lemon juice if you wanted, some vinegar, just to enhance the flavors. But the whole idea is that it's meant to be mayonnaise-based. So for my plating, I'm going to go ahead and use some salad. And for this, I'm using the lettuce leaves. And what I'm going to do, I want to use the lettuce leaves as part of my plate. And what you do for that is actually just remove the, You remove the leaves gently so they can form a plate for you. So you remove them gently so they're able to form a plate for you. And the easiest way I usually find to do that is just go each salad step by step. So just cut off where the stem is right there. So just cut off a little bit, and then now you peel it off gently. Just follow it where it goes, and it's going to come right off as you keep peeling it. It does take a minute or two, but not to worry. It does come about. And there we are. And then now you form it to get your little balls. So I've already put some here that I'm going to use. So this was just to show you what you'll do to get your balls, which is what I'm using. And that just gives your salad a bit more of a character, a bit something different. And then I'm going to finish that off with some olive oil in the dressing. So I'm going to place this aside. I'm going to finish my salad off with some olive oil for the dressing. So a bit of olive oil, just to give my vegetables a bit of a shine. And then I'm going to chop some fresh herbs. Now I'm using parsley here. I have some dhania as well, which is coriander or cilantro. So we're just going to go ahead and chop some of this and then add it into our salad. Now the herbs here are just to give your salad a nice fresh, zesty, just some nice freshness. Okay, there we are. And then just throw that in your salad. And then we're going to get back to now the mixing. So I've added some olive oil. I'm just going to mix this. Now you could add some vinegar to your salad if you wanted to as well. Remember the dressing does have some vinegar, some acid, which in this form I used the lemon juice, but I mentioned you could use vinegar. So I'm going to go ahead and just squeeze a little bit. And the reason I said I roll this is just to make sure that it's easy to squeeze out the juice. So not too much. And then slice it and just squeeze it. And you get quite a bit of juice by just rolling out your lemon. So that's a tip. If you ever have a lemon in the house and it's just not giving you enough juice, make sure you roll it next time for another lemon before you cut it. You cut into it and you'll get quite a good amount of lemon juice. So that's all I'm seasoning in there. And then remember, I have not seasoned my salad with anything else. So at this stage, I'm going to add some salt and some black pepper because I don't want my salad to be plain. Even though I have a dressing for it, I still would like to have a bit of flavor going on. So add some salt. And remember, nothing here is seasoned, so it's going to take in the salt really well. And then a bit of black pepper, or none if you don't like black pepper. You could also add some cayenne here. You could add some paprika if you wanted to. So my salad is looking good. So give that a nice mix. So this is our lentil salad. I'm going to give this a taste. I'm going to taste my lentils because the lentils are the most bland, of course. There's nothing else added into them other than just boiling them. The lemon, I can definitely taste it. It's come through. So I think I'm going to add a bit of salt because I can't taste enough salt in there. And then now we're going to just go ahead and mix it. I'm going to get my spoon that we're going to use for serving. Just give this a nice mix. And our salad is looking so colorful. Remember I mentioned I put apples in here. So we're going to get our cups, our lettuce cups, because I said I'm using my lettuce cups as my plating. And then just place your salad in there. Make sure you can see all the colors. Whatever is missing, you can just top on top of it. Just so you're sure you can see everything nice and bright and colorful. That's exactly how you want your salad to look, nice and pretty. Okay, and then we're going to grab the other one. Now you don't have to plate it like this. I'm just plating it this way because I just want to give it a bit more of a different character. And like I said, we eat with our eyes, so the prettier something looks, the more likely you are to try it or want to eat it. So I always like to just give whatever I'm making a bit more of some life, some character, and then place that there to make sure you can see everything going on. Hope you can. In the apples, we're just going to add something yellow on that side. So obviously you can see all the colors going on there. And then what I'm going to do is actually add a bit more of the olives on where you can't see them, just so you know the salad had olives. And of course the crunch, like I said, we roasted some cashew nuts earlier. So I'm just going to top this with some cashew nuts. Not too many cashew nuts. You still want to be able to see the other things in the salad. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and just give it a bit of some green, some chopped herbs that we're going to finish off with. And already your salad is looking very colorful, and the whole idea of placing it into the lettuce cups is that you can lift it right off as it is. You can lift off the lettuce cup as it is and then just wrap it and just bite into this. So that's like a fun way to eat your food, right? So that's the whole idea of doing it that way. So I'm going to add some of the Thousand Island dressing into a glass. We're just going to put this here so that you have some extra if you want to squeeze into it, if you want to add some more. And I'm going to drizzle some onto the salad as well. So that's a good portion. And then we're going to just move this a little bit so you can have a view of everything. And then some of this we're going to just put just little dollops and drizzles all around. Just little dollops and drizzles. So that's a Thousand Island dressing. And there's your salad, guys. It's just really nice and light and refreshing and different, because I'm sure it's so different. It's something you probably haven't tried before. Just the combinations. Again, it's nothing too complicated. It's easy items you can find in your nearest supermarket. So that's a good way. This is actually a very good way for you to try now, like vegetables with fruits, because the fruits I've used here is an apple to give the crunch and to add some sweetness to it. I said you could add some raisins as well just for the sweetness. So it's a nice way to just have your vegetables and fruits merged together so that you can enjoy them some more. If you're not very big on trying on just vegetables by themselves, this should give it a nice different flavor. So that has been lunch guide for you guys today. We made a lentil salad, which I really hope you enjoyed watching me make it, and I hope you're going to feel inspired to want to make it at home, because that's the whole point of the show, for me to inspire you, the cook at home, to want to get off and start cooking. So I'm your host and chef, Sheena Amario. Be sure to follow us on Brand Plus TV, and we can get socializing on Facebook. So until then, see you next time. Bye.